If we don't rehabilitate them, today you cannot travel on our highway. All our forest area, they are be taken all over by criminals. And we call them herdsmen, we call them bandits. But many of them also are resident with us within the city, within the town. So as a ministry, these were some challenging issues, because even if you take the children off the street, they need education. They need to acquire skills. Because for the children that are in conflict with the law, one of the, when I came in as commissioner, I found out that they were supposed to be in the correctional center. That is the correctional facility. But the children were under lock and key, not because government did not provide, but because there was a deliberate attempt to make sure that those children were not cared for. I had to reopen the school for them, the skill acquisition center. There is a video. If I send it to you, when I had a Christmas party for the children said, Your Excellency, even the home we are from, we never had it so good. So it was home away from home. Every good thing that you go to prisons abroad, they are, people can work while in prison. People can learn. But these children, the children that were under my care, they were children below 18 years that were involved in armed robbery, some of them murder, rape, very serious crime. They needed to be rehabilitated. Many of them were dependent on drug. So the Medical Women Association, I had invited them to come in to help us. We're providing therapy for them, for psychiatric treatment, because the children are taking drugs. That was what predisposed them to committing crime. So there is a whole lot of work to be done. You have the orphans. When I also came in, I met challenges there that in Edo State, people sell children. I closed down so many orphanage homes.
Honorable, I'll let you go to the orphan. But before we get to the orphan, you have said a lot. And there's something that I want to ask you about, most of what you have said. How do you think the government of those states, the one you were, how do you think they are reacting to these issues raised by you? Do you think that they have been proactive? In your case, do you think that within the short time that you stayed, that you did your best to kind of improve the situation of these children? And there's another thing that I want to say is that when we look at the amount of children, not the children from the Northeast or coming now, but those children who are on the street, do we not think that it is out of frustration of parents not being able to take care of them, to care for them, and in that case, they have to go out and find a way to survive on their own? The family is able to provide for their children. I don't think we would have cut drastically short the number of children that you will find on the road, saying that they are homeless children. Don't you think so?
Things have changed. Things are falling apart. Times are no longer the same. I recall that even my cousins that were made, they could not even visit us. Our parents will say no. When you see today, we have failed families. Some of them, I don't think it's because of, some say it's poverty, but our parents that brought us up, they were not millionaires. Discipline, the lack of discipline in our homes is a huge problem. And drug trafficking, you go to all the nooks and crannies of our street, they are selling drug. And parents usually through no fault of theirs, are the last to know. Because you may even be a great parent and your child will fall victim because the children are vulnerable. The drug traffickers are very clever. They are everywhere. And when I am aware that as a commissioner, I have visited most of the security organizations, NDLA, the police, all of them. But I never saw a real concerted effort to check this trafficking of drugs within our community. If you go to all our forests, they are planting Indian hemp or what's not. So today, our children, they are becoming just like the situation you have in Europe and America. They take all sorts, mokinte, glue, they go to the toilet to sniff it, cocaine, heroin, it's sold everywhere. So I think drug abuse and drug trafficking is largely responsible for the challenges we have, which we need to deal with. It's already getting too late. If we don't deal with it, it's going to be a tragedy. Because as early as 1917, like I mentioned, I had done a sensitization program in churches, in mosques, in schools, higher institutions, and the grand finale in Edo State here. All the stakeholders to government institutions. I was with myself and my group, women lawyer, even as a ministry, as a commissioner, we were going around all the agencies to deal with this problem. But till today, nothing has happened. So it's just a time bomb waiting to explode. Now, do we have His Excellency, all the recommendations we made is working on it. That is some of the things he's trying to put structure in place to employ more workers, psychologists, and all that. You know, Edo State advertised recently to employ more people. All those are fallout from the recommendation made by the various ministries, because he's asking, how can we have about 300-degree turnaround in the public service and the civil service, because they are supposed to do the work. All the gaps we observe is what he is trying to fill up now. And it's my hope that, because you know, even if you a system we provide X, Y, Z, the human beings, because the work ethics in civil service is not like what we have in international organizations.